order at 7:06. It's a meeting of the Town of Norton Zoning Board of Appeals. We have several items on the agenda. Unfortunately, we do not have a Zoom hookup. Town Council is with us by telephone and is on my speakerphone, and we're going to have to make do with that. Town Council is here for a couple of the matters this evening. I'm Tom Noel, I'm the chair of the zoning board. Lucas Wozniak is here. Jim Tenori is our third voting member tonight. We have a number of items on the agenda. The first is the continued application of Island Brook, Chapter 40B, comprehensive permit. Mr. Itani?
He went to the restaurant.
Yes. Back in just a moment.
Here he comes.
You are?
Salem Kadura, I work with.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Mr. Itani is here. Thank you. Ms. Questle is here by telephone, unfortunately. We'll see if we can make do that way. This has been before us for some time. Mr. Itani, the decision that was given to us, the draft by your council, was marked up by Ms. Questle. Are you authorized to okay that? Is town council with us tonight? You are.
I'm gonna do Chris Agostino. He's waiting for the phone. I told him I might have to put him on speaker on FaceTime if that works.
Great. Put the two phones together.
Yeah, two phones together.
Yeah, hi Chris.
Can we put Mr. D'Agostino on speaker?
Yeah, that's him. I'm gonna bring the phone closer to you. So you're gonna be on the phone, and I'm gonna hand the phone to the chairman.
That's not good. Thank you.
And Frank Gallagher is there too.
Frank Gallagher is here. Amy, Mr. D'Agostino and Mr. Gallagher are attending by phone call-in to Mr. Itani's phone. So have you had an opportunity, Chris, to look at the edits that Amy had returned?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I hear everybody, and I just heard Amy in the background as well, so all good. Yes, we did, and thank you to Amy for sending those over, and I was able to review them with Mohammed and the team, and we understand the one substantive issue that Amy had changed just to make sure that the town's bylaws, to the extent that they're not waived by the decision, remain protected. And we were fine with that substantive change. So I think we're really in a position where we're able to move forward at this point. I thank everyone for their help in putting it together so that we could get here. So I think it's ready for a vote.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yes.
On paragraph 18, I did have a question.
Yeah, I see that. I was just going to ask about that.
Yeah. So I didn't see any changes to the waivers. So are there any changes to the waivers? And if not, we would just say, with the waivers of local regulations initially approved by the board, period. We wouldn't say as may be modified by this endorsement decision, because I think that makes it complicated, because obviously both the chair and I had that question.
Yes, yeah, I saw that, Amy, and we looked at that question, and we don't believe that there were any additional modifications to waivers. So we thought you either wanted to just delete that or make some other change. So we're fine with deleting it if you think that works.
Yeah, so I'm going to delete that clause that says as may be modified by this endorsement decision, comma. So,
That's fine.
Yeah.
okay, all right. So, Mr. Chairman, I think that the board can definitely vote on this decision tonight, and then I can just easily clean it up and get it over to Brian in the morning, and then.
It's this.
Yeah.
We eliminated that.
Yeah, I think.
We accepted their changes and showed our.
Okay.
Which reflects that deletion right there.
And Mr. D'Agostino is saying that we could just cross that clause out.
Yeah, we already did.
So we've got that. Thank you. Oh, actually, here's a copy for Mr. Tenori, and I give one to the clerk. Okay, Amy, so, I'm sorry, this is in line for a vote tonight, correct?
Yes, you can definitely vote on this. I will provide you with a final version for signature.
Right.
So, and then I can fill in the motions and the seconds and all that stuff.
That's fine. Mr. Tenori, Mr. Wozniak. Amy, I think, did we not close the public hearing on this last time in case there were issues to discuss?
We did not close the public hearing from my notes.
So, right, that's what I remembered, so I should entertain a motion to close the public hearing on Island Brook so that we can discuss the draft. Is there such a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
A motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Tenori, how do you vote to close the public hearing on Island Brook?
Yes.
Mr. Wozniak?
Yes.
And Mr. Noel votes yes as well. So the public hearing is closed now. We've gone over this in the last months, cooperatively with the applicant in working out certain issues. I think the draft is good. Amy has gone through it, made her red line edits that the applicant has acceded to, including crossing out the one question that she had flagged in 18. Is there, what further discussion is there before among the board members?
I don't have any, Mr. Chairman.
We decided last time it was just paperwork.
Yeah.
And so is there a motion to approve this draft with red line markings as we just discussed as the Island Brook decision number, whatever it is, because we voted on this 11 years ago and then maybe 9 years ago as well. But it's back before us for reasons that we've gone over. Is there a motion to approve the application as reflected in the draft decision, and Ms. Queso will provide this in final form for signature in the next day or two?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
No further discussion on the motion?
Nope.
Mr. Tenori, how do you vote on the matter of Island Brook?
Yes.
Mr. Wozniak?
Yes.
And Mr. Noel votes yes as well. Okay, we will get this signed in the next couple of days. Amy will get it back to us without the red
So,
lines.
Mr. Chairman, so I'm just,
Oh.
I'm a little bit blind here, but I'm pretty sure that was Mr. Tenori that made the motion and Mr. Wozniak that seconded?
Yes, it
Yes.
was. Sorry about
All
that.
right. Okay, no, I can do it, I got it.
Were there other votes contained within this? I know that happened a couple.
No.
Okay,
So, well, because there's no waivers.
right.
No specific waivers, you do not have to do those separately.
We don't
So
have
you
to
are
do
good.
individual
Yes.
votes. So that is done.
Yeah, you are done, thank you.
Thank you, Town Council, for your assistance. Mr. Itani will get it out to you through Brian in the next couple of days. We all have to sign it. I will talk to Town Council. Should we just sign the last page, Amy?
You could, yes, I will not change the last page, so you can sign the last page, and then,
Let's do one
we
copy.
can file it with the town clerk, Brian can fill in that date, that's not a problem.
That's acceptable to?
Oh, please.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
yeah, we can get that done tonight. Do you have a blank plate? Thank you. Yeah, Mr. Tenori has a blank that's not stapled together, so we can do that.
Okay,
And,
Perfect.
great, so we don't have to, remember I went to Mr. Tenori's kitchen once to get a signature on about 30 pages worth of a decision that we had done a few years ago. Great.
I couldn't get him out of the house though, that was
Yeah.
the problem, he's never coming back.
Well, they kept offering me food and I kept accepting. And then I had to digest it and eat more, so. Okay. We've recorded our votes. I'll give the last page to Brian with the understanding that Amy's going to return the finalized document. We'll attach that to this, and effectively, we should have that tomorrow.
Awesome.
yes.
I mean, it has to be posted with the town clerk, of course, for the normal, this gets a normal appeal period, Amy, correct?
No,
Yes,
It does.
yes,
So we'll have to add that to the, we can add that paragraph that I do at the end of decisions, and I'll get that to you tomorrow, Amy. You can put
oh yeah,
that,
I can add that, yeah, you're right, it doesn't have it, so I will add that, I can add that right now.
Mr. D'Agostino?
I'm not sure, and I think anything, as we know, is appealable.
Yeah.
I think there is some, the 20-day appeal period is fine. But I believe, just as a technical matter, that there's some case law that it's not necessarily an appealable decision, but all good to add the 20-day appeal window. I think that's fine, and will further certify the fact that the decision is final.
Okay. So we'll get it to town clerk for posting anyway tomorrow. And thank you, Mr. Itani, for your assistance in all this. I know it's been a long
I
time.
know, thank you, sir. You owe me a hug, remember?
Good luck with the progress, and keep us posted as to anything that comes up.
Awesome, I'm just gonna grab my phone.
Yeah.
You want to come for a hug?
Now he wants his phone back.
No hug though.
Mr. Chairman, thank you, everyone.
Guys, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Right. Mr. D'Agostino and Amy and I will communicate tomorrow. We'll get this finalized, and Brian will get it posted. Okay, Amy, you are still there, all right?
I am.
Okay.
I'm here.
We are moving on to the second item on the agenda, which is Zero Hill Street. The applicant is listed as Dan Campbell. The owner is Mr. LaRusso.
Correct.
And Mr. Campbell,
Good evening, Dan
Yeah.
Campbell, on behalf of the applicant, Anthony LaRusso.
we have to, we're going to ask Amy to be with us by phone.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, Zoom isn't working. Amy had given us a memo which we forwarded to you a few days ago. And I will give Amy the opportunity to summarize for us first her memo. Ms. Questle, would you be prepared to do that?
Sure,
You have that?
sure. So,
Right,
do you want me to do that now?
You can have that.
Yeah, if you could first.
Yeah. So there's, the application before you is for variances to create 3 non-conforming lots. And essentially, so the property is located, it's in the R80 zoning district, which requires 80,000 square feet of lot area and 150 feet of frontage. So the 3 lots that they're proposing, none of them meet those requirements. None of them are 80,000, none of them have 150. There is, however, this remaining area, which is about 130,000 square feet and has 108 feet of frontage. But really, it's the 3 lots that are in front of you. And the applicant is providing an argument that because the lots were created in 1967 and they were conforming at that time, they are somehow forever conforming. And I simply do not agree. I did quite a bit of research into this, and the argument boils down to the merger doctrine. And there's just no way around the merger doctrine, which is that you could have had conforming lots, but once the zoning changed and those lots become non-conforming, if those lots are owned by the same owner, they become merged for zoning purposes. And they are merged for zoning purposes to create conforming lots. And so there's nothing stopping this applicant from taking the 4 lots, which are the 3 proposed lots and the remaining land, and creating conforming lots out of those lots. And that's their biggest hurdle, is that the fact that they have enough land to create at least 1, possibly 2 conforming lots, but they're looking for 3 substandard lots, non-conforming lots. And so, that is, that's my position on their argument that at one point they were conforming, and unfortunately what happened was the zoning bylaw changed, and they did not apply for a building permit, and they did not develop these lots in time. And so the merger doctrine does kick in, and that is my position on that. With regard to variances, they are looking for variances, and as you know, variances are extremely hard to come by. They should be granted sparingly. And the first prong of the variance, there's 3 prongs, and the first prong is they have to be owing to circumstances relating to the soil conditions, shape, or topography of the land. And the applicant simply cannot meet that prong. And further, which does not, which cuts across the argument of the developer, is that the applicant, by separating these lots into 3 non-conforming lots instead of using the overall land that they have, they're creating the hardship, which is consistently not allowed. The Supreme Judicial Court held that it's a principle of long-standing application when a landowner will not be permitted to create a non-conformity if they could have used adjoining land to avoid or diminish the non-conformity. So, in my opinion, the 3 lots that they're proposing cannot be created.
Yeah. We questioned the applicant at the last session we had, which was 2 meetings ago, as to that, and it was, and our question was, well, the owner could have stepped in several times to actually build before the next zoning iteration came up, and did not do so.
Correct.
That was our view, so I asked for council's opinion as to whether we were missing something. I think council's memo and what council just recited conforms to what we were asking about before. But I'm gonna ask Mr. Campbell to give you the opportunity to tell us why you think we are wrong on that.
Sure. So, and I did read through Amy's memo, and my problem with Amy's memo is it didn't actually address what I asked the board to address in the first place. So I understand the merger doctrine. Absolutely. I read all 3 cases that she referenced and all 3 cases refer to zoning bylaws that specifically require the combination of non-conforming lots, should it be non-conforming at the time of the adoption or the time of the amendment. The unfortunate part about Norton's zoning is in 1974, when the zoning went into effect, it specifically exempted lots that at the time had an A&R plan which created them, an endorsed plan that created them, making them, in the words of the zoning bylaw, conforming lots. So every zoning since then has read any non-conforming adjacent lot held in single ownership, established or recorded by deed at the adoption of the zoning bylaw in 1974. The problem is, at the adoption of the zoning bylaw in 1974, the zoning bylaw specifically made these conforming lots. They weren't non-conforming. That's where the problem comes. So our application is actually 2 parts. Our application, the first part of the application was whether or not the 3 lots could be built individually. The second part of it was we were looking to add land to the non-conforming lots, not solving the entire non-conformity, but making them less non-conforming. So it was a 2-part question. One we applied in the first place based upon the building inspector's denial of the permits in the first place. So the problem with Attorney Quessel's letter is it never actually addressed Norton's specific requirement that allowed the exemption of these lots, creating them as conforming at the time of the adoption. It reads, contiguous vacant lots in one ownership at the time of the bylaw adopted, land shown on plan submitted for the planning board endorsement or approval prior to the effective date of the bylaw shall be exempt from it as provided in 7A 40A of the general laws. It was very clear in 1974 that as long as you had an endorsed plan, the lots were exempt, period. So they are conforming. So every bylaw since then says if they were non-conforming at the time, but they weren't. None of the cases that Attorney Questle specified had anything related to that. It was only if the lots were non-conforming with the zoning at the time, and there was never an exemption that you would have been able to go back to and talk about.
But in each case, the zoning bylaws changed over time.
Correct.
And specific reference time frame was given for lots to be developed or merged.
If they were non-conforming at the time is the problem.
But you understand that going along with that theory would say we have to delve back 60, 70 years in every lot's history.
You should, based upon the current, based upon the zoning that was enacted.
That's not a useful rule for this board.
I
or any other.
understand. However, in this case, the problem is your 1974 zoning specifically allowed those lots to continue, regardless of anything else.
Let's say you're right.
Sure.
Let's say you're correct, just for argument's sake. Let me just ask a question. What relief can this board give you? If you're right, you have to establish that somehow.
So
What are you asking us to do?
the
We
building,
can't redraw lots.
I don't intend to. The building department specifically, at the time, gave us a letter of denial for a building permit for those 3 lots based upon their non-conformance. So we've appealed that letter.
Okay.
The
That's,
second part of that was in, assuming the lots are developable, we were intending to make them less non-conforming, which, as Attorney Questle said, is an allowable decision by the board. So the first part is we had to establish that the lots themselves were fine. Then we had to request whether or not we could add land to them to make them less non-conforming.
I think this is before us as an appeal of the building commissioner's denial, which was back in, apologies, back in, was it October?
It was October of
Yeah.
24, I believe.
I don't believe that the building commissioner was incorrect. I think that the building commissioner acted according to the bylaws. I understand your position, but I think this is the wrong place to establish that position if you need to establish it. Having said that, I'm going to ask if there's anybody else in attendance to speak in favor of or in opposition to this application or the appeal.
Well, the last time we were here, we specifically asked Attorney Questle to address that one issue. She addressed merger doctrine as a whole, which is my problem with the letter. It wasn't specific to your zoning. It was a global if zoning changes.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
So the argument is nonsensical because what it means is that, so first of all, a lot cannot be created unless it's conforming. So every lot is conforming at some point. So what happens is that you have a bylaw that allows for 20,000 square feet and 50 feet of frontage, and you create lots by A&R, and all of a sudden you have 10 lots, and then the zoning changes. And the zoning then creates lots that are 40,000 square feet in area and 100 feet of frontage. And then you've lost half of your lots because you haven't acted upon, you haven't developed them. They do not become non-conforming unless they are developed, then they are merged. So the merger doctrine is the overriding force in this argument here, which is why that is what I addressed. The argument that a lot becomes conforming and stays conforming forever is essentially, it's absolutely in opposition of what 40A, the zoning act, provides for.
Okay.
There's
So
I'm satisfied with that explanation, Ms. Questle. Yes?
the problem is, that doesn't address the specific exemption from the zoning that the lots that were signed off prior to the zoning bylaw granted those lots.
But then,
Yeah, but I don't.
It wasn't enacted upon. That was the problem is, the original zoning has a separate section
yep,
in
That
addition
zoning
to
is no
the,
longer in play. That zoning is not in play anymore. That's what happens.
that's,
Section 5 allows towns to amend their zoning.
and it allows a landowner to take action within so
Yes.
much time if they have lots that would, by that amendment, become non-conforming, whether it's for the first time or the second time or the third time, I assume.
Correct, that's 48-6. Yes, correct.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask again, is there anybody else to speak in favor of or in opposition to this appeal of the building commissioners? Yes, and what is your name and,
I'm Amy Conley. I live at 61 Hill Street. I mean, I certainly can't speak to all the legal piece of it, but as an abutter, I certainly would say I'm in opposition of this. I mean, I can give you reasons why. In talking with an attorney that we have used, going back to that plan in 1967, he stated that just because it was approved at that time didn't mean it was actually approved to be built upon as it was approved at that time given to the planning board. And I know we haven't talked about like the actual, or she did mention the topography of the land. I mean, it is very wet. And even the previous owner, Paul Lamb of 61 Hill Street, did approach, he wanted to purchase the land. And he did approach the building commissioner at the time. He came out and looked at the land, and he did say that this was one conforming lot. And it's only been taxed as one conforming lot all of these years, so it's never been considered individual lots.
so the question comes down to, can there be one residence there?
That's even a
Or
question.
two or three?
Right.
Correct? In your mind, that's your
Based
concern?
on the 80,000 contiguous uplands, which I'd be questionable whether you could get one, especially
Well-
based on a septic.
But that's not our purview.
Right, no,
The
but,
wetlands is conservation, and that's been staked out.
Yes.
But thank you for your voicing your concern. Is there anybody else to speak in favor of or in opposition to? Yes.
Rich Conley, I'm 61 Hill as well. You know, those are tiny lots right now, and they're trying to make it sound good, adding to it. Even adding to it, they're still tiny.
Well,
And wet.
well, again,
Yes, I
wet
know.
is not our.
I know,
Right.
It's a concern, but it's
Yes.
not our purview.
yes.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Without further discussion, Mr. Tenori, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Wozniak?
Yes.
Mr. Noel votes yes to close the public hearing as well. So now this is framed, I think appropriately, as first, an appeal of the building inspector's decision. I couldn't even remember, how it got to us, but that's accurate because it was a denial. And secondarily, there may be an issue, but I would suggest a motion as to whether to uphold the building inspector's decision as proper under the bylaws.
I'll make that motion to uphold the building inspector's decision.
We've had this situation in front of us on the reservoir many times.
Yeah.
And the whole common ownership, acting upon in time, the zoning board, the bylaw wasn't just, enacted one day. It was through town meeting and everything else. So I think they had the appropriate amount of time to act upon it, and I agree with the building commissioner.
So are you seconding
Yes,
Mr. Tenori's motion?
I second.
Okay. Then, is there any further discussion on the building commissioner, the propriety of his decision? Doesn't sound like there is. On the motion that the building inspector's decision denying the applicant, that decision was proper under the bylaws, Mr. Tenori, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Wozniak?
Yes.
Mr. Noel votes yes as well.
Great, thank you.
So you have I mean, obviously.
It makes the second part moot regardless.
Right, it makes
Yeah.
the second question moot. Thank you for framing it
Yeah.
appropriately, though. If you have reason to believe that we are in error, you can appeal it. I'm not sure why you started with this board anyway, rather than going to planning or going the route of court. But it is what it is.
Sure.
We'll see what happens. We wish you luck. We wish the owner luck with this land in the future. But as of now, that's the extent of what we can do.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for your input.
Of course, have a good night.
Have a good one. Thank you. Amy,
Yes.
we
Do you want me to
have,
draft that, do you want me to draft that decision for you, Mr. Chairman?
that would be helpful, sure, or at least the bones of it, sure.
Yeah, I'll work with Brian on it.
Don't take Brian's work away from him. He likes,
What do you mean, there's 5 other applications tonight, too?
I'll work with Brian.
I'm joking. I'm joking, Amy. We have 5 other applications tonight. Apparently Brian's been standing on Main Street with a sandwich board saying, please apply for variances. And so, Ms. Questle, nothing else from Ms. Questle tonight, I believe.
I don't think so.
This was the biggest one.
Yeah, so Amy, thank you very much. Sorry for the Zoom
No, it's
problem.
nice to hear everyone tonight.
Yeah.
So-
Thank you, Amy.
Yeah.
Nice to hear
All right,
you.
I will, I'll work with Brian on that and I'll get you guys something. I'll get you on both hearings.
Yeah, appreciate it. I can communicate with you tomorrow to help out too. Thank
All right,
you.
I'm around. All right, thanks everyone. Have a nice night.
You too, Amy.
Okay, yep, bye.
Okay, so everybody in town wants to do a change at once. Fine, we're here. Next on the agenda is the application for 186 Lincoln Street. Kyle Guarini, are you Mr. Guarini?
Yes, I am.
Okay. We have your application. Let me just take a moment to shuffle my papers, because that's what I do best. There it is, 186 Lincoln Street, correct? This is an R80 lot. I'll give you the chance to correct me if I'm wrong. It's an undersized, it's an R80 zoning district, sorry. It's an undersized lot, and the applicant seeks to increase the non-conforming nature by increasing the habitable floor area by 25% or more, which means it has to come before us for a finding as to whether this is going to be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood or not, under, I think it's 175 and 1.6. It's a non-conforming lot in that it's undersized. Currently, there's a house of 1,288 square feet. Apparently, a new septic system is going to be required for proper waste disposal, and applicant is saying in the application that this is the only way it can be done, and that it would be a hardship not to do it this way. Mr. Guarini, am I missing anything as to what you want to communicate?
No, mostly, I'm proposing to, remove the existing house. That's, it's pretty undesirable condition right now. It only sits about 5 feet from the street.
That's amazing. I looked at it on
On
Google
Lincoln Street
Maps.
extension, yeah. So I'm proposing to, add over 25% to the new current house size, but meeting all the setbacks for the R80 zoning and the frontage that runs down the Lincoln Street extension. Like you said, it's a pre-existing lot, does not conform to the R80 lot size.
Right.
I believe the proposed house will add, great value to the town and within the neighborhood. And by getting it off the street and, setting it back.
So your plan is to demolish the existing structure?
Yeah.
Replace it with something?
Yeah.
Single-family residence?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw have some pictures of the front.
Yeah, we just looked at it.
Oh,
Google Maps.
yeah, so you can
Yeah.
see.
It's 5 feet from the street.
Yeah, that's the picture.
And then I kind of have just like a rendering of what I was proposing. Did you guys see the site plans at all, or?
Yeah, we just
We
looked
just-
at it.
Okay.
That's what we have to go by, actually,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
plot plan, I'll call it
Yeah,
the plot
so
plan.
I had the perk test done, developed those, the plans from that.
Yeah, this is a plan dated March 3, 2025, from Trowbridge Associates. It's a little tough to see the placement of the buildings because
I have
it's a wetlands
Yeah, it's
delineation,
very, yeah.
but you can see,
So.
is that a bigger copy of this?
Yeah,
This is what you're
Yeah,
gonna file.
exactly,
Exactly.
but no fault there.
So all
Right,
the
you can
setbacks
see
are being met.
Yeah.
all the setbacks with the new construction are in line. The problem is, because it's an increase in size more than 25%, it's like doubling size, it comes before us for the determination as to whether this is a detrimental effect on the neighborhood under the wording of 1.6. Thanks for the bigger map.
Do you want this back?
Yeah, you can take it back. It's the same thing.
Thank you.
Let me just jump forward. Are there questions from the board, first of all?
I don't have any.
Are there questions or comments from anybody in attendance, either in favor of or in opposition to Mr. Garini's application? Yes, sir. What is your name?
I'm Paul Jodas from Jodas & Sons. I'm working with Kyle on the design part of this. And I can ask the building inspector as far as the bylaws go, is that Kyle does have the opportunity that if this gets denied, that he can just knock the house down and rebuild in that same spot.
Understood. We understand that.
Okay, all right.
But the application is to replace it with a larger
Absolutely.
structure. and
Absolutely.
That's what we're going with.
Right.
Okay.
Don't hold me to this, but I think it has to be on the same foundation.
Exactly the same foundation,
Yeah.
exactly 5 feet from the street.
Yeah.
So
Which,
that would be the, because
that would be the alternative, right?
The alternative, because the house is falling down.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Understood. Understood.
that's
Thank
all.
you, sir. Thank you. Is there anybody else to speak in favor of or in opposite? I assume that's in favor of.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody else to speak on this application? For the record, none. Is there a motion to close the public hearing on this, or do you have other questions?
I don't have any other questions.
Motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Mr. Tenori, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Wozniak?
Yes.
Mr. Noel votes yes as well. These are the rules. We have to speak the vote, believe it or not. Public hearing is now closed. Discussion on this. This is not a problem, obviously, in my mind.
It's a great improvement.
It's an improvement.
It's an improvement to the, it gets it off the street. I can't, it's hard to believe that there are residences in town that are sitting right on the street. I mean, I know there are a couple that I'm familiar with, but here's another one I wasn't familiar with.
Yeah.
It pushes it back, the setbacks are all corresponded to. The only problem is that it's a prior,
Increase.
pre-existing
Right.
non-conforming. That's not a problem.
Yep.
Agreed?
Agreed.
So is there a motion under, I printed out the statute just so I could get it right. That would be the first, but I'm just gonna. I need a personal secretary, not you, to keep all my papers straight.
You know what I mean? I forgot my computer.
You forgot your computer, well, I hope it's not somewhere in the parking
No,
lot.
it's in my office.
175,
1.6, thank you, it is 1.6, and it's specifically
C.
Part C. Increase in non-conforming nature or inhabitable floor area by 25% or more. Determination may be granted by us only if there's a finding that the appeal of the Board of Appeals that the reconstruction, extension, or alteration shall not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood in which the structure is located than the existing non-conforming structure. That's our question. Is there a motion in the affirmative that the planned construction according to the plan of record with the date recited will not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood?
I'll make that motion as stated.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Nope.
Mr. Tenori, how do you vote on that motion?
Yes.
Mr. Wozniak?
Yes.
Mr. Noel votes yes as well. Mr. Guarini, good luck to you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
We have to draw up a written decision, and then it has to be posted at the town clerk's office, and there's an appeal period after that. You're off to the races. Thank you, good luck to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, have a good
Good
night.
luck.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for your help, sir.
20 Sailors Lane.
What's that?
He was just asking me what the next one was.
No.
He's my secretary.
That's the only thing I'm good for tonight. I got it on my phone until my
Here
phone
it is,
dies.
there it is. I even,
No, I got it, here, you can keep that, I got it on my phone, I got it.
I have too many papers floating around. 20 Sailors Lane, Mario Marquin?
Yes, sir.
Are you here to speak for the application? And can you quickly, if you can, run us through what you are trying to do? This is a R60 zone with, again, an undersized lot, front and rear setbacks, and a proposed addition, and a plot plan dated, let me just for the record get that, August 14, 2024.
Sounds right.
If you could run through what it is you're trying to do.
Well, as of right now, the kitchen that we have with my wife is very, very small. So all we wanted to do is just take down that wall, go up maybe about, because I have another lot there. So just go out there like maybe about, what is it, 18?
We're going 16 out, 18 across. The thing that my understanding is there's gonna be a pantry, but it comes off the side 7 feet. That's where it's encroaching the setbacks. So I think that's what the discussion is about, that pantry.
The proposed addition.
7 by 7 is the pantry?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's small. And the thing about it is that I have 2 trees in front of and I also have a fence. So you're not even gonna see that pantry. That's why I understand that maybe it is a little, and then my porch is actually further than the
Yeah.
pantry would be.
I see that.
So I don't know if that was grandfathered
Go as
in.
far as the porch does.
Because, yeah, if you look before the porch, yeah. The porch is actually a couple feet, I think.
And the distance from, it would be a rear yard setback, even though Sunset Road is right there.
Well,
There's no way to
basically a
move that.
peninsula that goes, you know.
There's no way to move that to the, I don't know if you call it the front or the other side?
Well, there's a bathroom window on the far side.
Because that, yeah, I see that, I'm just,
Okay, so it kinda,
It's a small lot, it's not more detrimental than.
no, I just wanted to make sure I was right on that overhang. That
and it's
was-
basically a galley kitchen. It's 8 feet by 7, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, this is.
So either that or I'd have to move. My wife is getting to me. He's like, hey, we haven't done anything for 20-some years, so.
And sorry if this is maybe what you just asked, is there a way to slide it down?
And that's what I.
Is that what you were asking?
Yeah. And
Is
the
there a
overhang.
bathroom window here, is that
Right
what you're?
there.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's the over,
Yes, and this is the bathroom right here, so
Oh,
we can't
got it.
go over here.
that's what you were talking about.
I'd love to do that,
Got
but
it.
there's just no way.
Yep,
So that's a hardship. Do we need a variance here as well as a finding? I think that would, well,
well, you don't know, is it,
the porch is already
it's already there.
5 feet. I mean, we don't know the history of that. but
Yeah,
it's
I
not
wouldn't
ours
get,
to-
I wouldn't get into that.
Right. So, again, this is a finding under maybe a different section of 1.6, 175, 1.6. It's a pre-existing non-conforming lot and structure in an R60 zone. Lot sizes undersized, of course. So why is this necessary to come before us? Is this an increase in?
Increasing by 25%.
Yeah.
It is 25%
And
more?
then you would,
According to the notes on.
I didn't do that math, so I'll take your word for it.
I didn't either. I'm going off Nick's notes, so.
Thank you. Okay, so it's the same standard that was just applied? Yeah, that's right, I looked at that as well.
So it's like right here.
Yep.
I mean, he's wedged between.
I didn't see the porch.
No, the porch,
exist-
see the porch with the,
That's a porch?
yeah, there's like an awning on it. Is there like an awning on the porch or something? Like a white awning?
Oh, yeah, we
Yeah.
have just a little,
Screen and thing that comes down.
Yeah,
So that's
just a little
the
teepee
porch?
thing.
yeah.
That's the porch.
We call it a deck on the plan, but okay, you got
A
it.
deck with some kind of structure on
How
it.
big is that room?
I mean,
Yep,
I'm fine with that.
got it.
Nowhere else to put
It makes sense. He has nowhere else to go.
So the standard is, as described before, whether this is substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood in which it sits.
And like I said, there's 2 trees that we planted with my wife, they're huge, and they're right in front of it, so you wouldn't even be able to see
Okay, okay.
You're here just for protocol. Don't worry, don't worry.
Are there any other questions of the board? Let me ask if there's anybody present to speak in favor of or in opposition to the application. For the record, none. Motion to close the public hearing on this.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Tenori, how do you vote?
Yes?
Mr. Wozniak?
Yes.
Mr. Noel votes yes to close the public hearing as well. Any discussion on this?
Nope.
It's the same decision as previous, I think. This doesn't offend, I mean, it bothers that it's going to be, 7 feet off of Sunset Road, but there is an existing structure that's closer at this time. We don't know the history of that, but we don't need to get into that either. I don't think this is a problem. I'll ask for, is there a motion to approve the planned expansion at 20 Sailors Lane as depicted on the plan of record of August 14, 2024, because it will not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood.
I'll make that motion, as stated.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Nope.
Mr. Tenori, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Wozniak?
Yes.
And Mr. Noel votes yes as well. Okay, good luck to you. Again, we will get a decision written out and posted, and then there's an appeal period. Other than that,
Was that another 20 days?
that's the appeal period.
Okay.
I don't know what happens with the building inspector's office during that. You would be doing something at your own risk if you started it before then, but I'm going to let the building inspector deal with that. Good luck to you. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay, have a nice evening.
Yeah, you too. Okay, let's see.
Yes. So.
Next on the agenda, 34 Woodland Road, Live and Learn Ventures. That is you.
Yes.
Could you identify yourself for the record?
Yeah, I'm Kyle Pernock.
Okay.
Chris Pernock.
And can you tell us what it is that you are trying to do at 34 Woodland Road?
We have our attorney too. He was going to be on the Zoom, so he said I can call. If you want me to give him a call, I'll bring your phone over here.
Yeah, who is that?
Here. It's Mark Lanza.
Okay, we're familiar. I'm familiar with Mark Lanza. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay.
We can join him in. It's not a perfect system, but we'll make it work. Can you just put the volume up on speaker and put the phone maybe in next to mine?
I also have this paperwork I can pass out as well.
Well, was that submitted?
Yes. I didn't know what you had copies of, so. Is this all like that?
Well, we're trying to.
I can start explaining it maybe.
Yeah, well, first of all, this is a
What is this?
question here. There is a house, you are attempting to build a new house, and you provided a picture or schematic of that house.
Yes, I'm gonna try Mark one more time, and if he doesn't answer, I can give the whole background.
Okay.
Hey, Mark, you there? All right, I'm gonna put you on speaker. Hold on 1 second. All right, I got you turned up.
Great. Mr. Lanza, hi. Tom Noel here with the zoning board? Yes. Okay, thank you. The Zoom is apparently not functioning. Apologies for that. We can hear you on the phone, and thanks for participating that way. Question here, the application states, and it looks like 161 and 162 are merged lots.
Yes, they are merged for zoning purposes. They are not they're still separate lots as a matter of record of the registry of deeds. And that's a very common situation, very common occurrence where the zoning enforcement officer, building commissioners, is required to view them as one, but as a matter of fact, as a matter of law, they are still two. They can be separately conveyed and treated like any other mortgage, you name it, any way a lot that can be treated or dealt with. Treated or dealt with separately.
I'm not familiar with that precept, that they could be conveyed separately. I'm not doubting you, you do this, I don't, but I've not heard that. That was not my understanding. But for zoning purposes, we can only allow one residential structure on a lot. So I'm not sure how we get around that.
Exactly what we're asking for, a variance. We're asking for a variance to allow two structures on two lots. So if the board were to grant a variance to allow construction of a structure on lot 161, on the left, 5,000 square feet, 50 feet of frontage, the site plan depicts the setbacks which are consistent with the kind of bylaws for small lots. Then the board, what it's effectively doing is it's undoing the merger, which the board can do, and zoning boards do all the time. Some situations like this.
I am honestly not familiar with that. It's not something we've ever done. And I think there is a bylaw section saying that there's no use variance, so that we could not permit a second residential structure on a merged lot. Let me ask for assistance of board members.
I just went into the assessor's map geo, that's one lot. It's recorded as one lot.
Yeah, and what Attorney Lanza is saying is that we can unmerge the lots. That's not something I'm familiar with. Mr. Lanza and the applicant, I'll put it this way. If you would want us to consult town council, who's not here, she was with us earlier in the meeting, we can do that and continue this to the next hearing date. I will offer you that, but from the reaction of the board members, we're just sitting here asking the questions initially. We're not closing this off at all, but I'm not sure we can do this. Go ahead, Mr. Tenori.
So it looks like there was a house just built on that property, correct?
34 Woodland, there's a house on the lot 162 there, which we purchased, and we've just been, it was just flipped by somebody, but it was like not well done, so we've been updating that house currently.
Is this the one to the right?
That's just showing you, the one to the right is the one that we're renovating. The lot 161 is the vacant land in the middle.
So is this an existing house?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, all right.
But the lot in the middle is in the same ownership as this house, correct?
Currently correct, that's part of what we're seeking the variance for.
So this land and this house is all in one ownership?
I'll let Mark speak to the legal side of it, but it's always had its own, I don't wanna misspeak, but it's always had its own deed reference, its own lot. You know, when the subdivision was done, it was designed to be its own buildable lot, but it was, as far as we know, and Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, it was always just owned by like the person who lived in the house.
So I would have them reference Hill Street.
I would say it's merged.
It's the same thing as Hill Street.
Yeah. Mr. Lanza, it sounds like, to us, our initial reaction is that the lots merged, so we can't permit a second residential dwelling on the same lot. If you would like, we can consult town council on the question of unmerging them, but I don't think that's something that we've ever done at this board.
No.
And I don't know how it would be done under the bylaw either.
Again, as you noted, Mr. Chairman, I've been doing this for a very long time. I've got a number of cases where lots have merged because the owner didn't realize that the zoning change caused them to merge, but they're still separate lots for registry of deeds. So the owner has gone to the zoning board of appeals. I had one in the town of Warren, Massachusetts, 22 years ago, almost like that situation, and said, please, give me a variance for frontage in the area so that the lot that's merged into the other lot can remain as a separate lot and buildable. And that's what we're asking. That's all that we're asking.
Okay.
And it's no, I don't think it's any coincidence that it has the 50 feet of frontage, the 5,000 square feet that was required, that is required in chapter 48, section 6, paragraph 4, first sentence, for small isolated residential lots.
Understood.
And again, legally, at the registry of deeds, it's a separate lot. If I were to convey this, if my client said convey this land to somebody else, I would refer to two lots in the deed, not one. I might say they're being conveyed as a single parcel, but you still have two separate lots. Or I might say they're being conveyed as separate parcels for future variance application, whatever I might say. But now it would be different if there were a plan, and people do this all the time, and an A&R plan prepared and the court merged and erased the line, the lot line, in this case 161, 162, and created essentially, as a matter of record, one lot. People do that all the time. That wasn't done in this case.
I think if the applicant tried to convey lot 161, if that was conveyed separately, the buyer would have a pretty good lawsuit that he thought he was getting a buildable lot and it's not, according to zoning.
It might not be conveyed as a buildable lot. It could be conveyed as buffer, extra land.
Right, that's true, that's true. Okay.
Convey it to plant trees, but it can't be conveyed as a buildable lot unless this board grants the variance.
Yeah, and I don't think we have the power to do that. I'm offering to put this off till the next meeting if you would so choose, if you would ask us to do so. Otherwise, I don't think we can provide the relief that you're asking for. I think we would have to vote this down.
I am extremely confident that you could do it. Whether you are convinced that you could do it right now is another matter. I think it's a good idea to continue the matter, consult with town council. Is town council going to be opening page, KP Law?
Yes, it's Amy Questle.
Okay, she knows me well and I know her, so I would like to be authorized to communicate with her. She can't communicate with me unless the board lets her.
Yeah.
I'm sure she and I can communicate very succinctly about this.
You can try. She's been on trial. She's been on trial, a couple of trials, I think, and she's been very busy. But I think the best thing to do is to continue this till the next hearing date so we can get some clarification on that. But it's nothing that we've ever understood we can do, I can tell you that. All right, so when is the next meeting date?
We don't have one.
We didn't do, June? Really?
No, we just have tonight's schedule.
Well, let's just end it tonight then, not meet the rest of the year. No, we can't do that.
Aside from our extension,
Yeah.
we need an extension, you're getting it on witching hour.
No, I wasn't looking for that, actually. I was looking for my notebook. What night works in June? 3 weeks, 4 weeks from tonight?
I'm good with the 11th and the 25th.
The 11th, I'm more comfortable with the 11th.
I can't do the 11th.
Can't do the 11th.
I can't do the 18th.
Oh.
If I could chime in here, I can't do the 25th, so
before?
I will be attending my daughter's wedding in Alaska. I won't be here.
Alaska?
Yes.
I could do the 10th.
We could hold a meeting in Alaska. No, we can't do that. What other, is the 4th?
The 4th is the last Wednesday of April that we haven't discussed. Otherwise, we have to do a different day of the week.
Yeah, well, the 4th is a Wednesday, right?
Right. But that's the last
Is that
Wednesday
too
we haven't
soon?
talked about yet.
Yeah.
That's too soon though.
That's 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we could,
I mean,
yeah, okay.
I'm gone the 11th and the 18th. I have a client meeting.
Can you do the 10th?
I can do the 10th. I can
Can
do the
you-
17th.
Can you do the 10th, Mr. Lanza? Which is a
Yes,
Tuesday night?
yes. June, yes.
I can do that.
I can do that.
Is that okay, Brian? Tuesday night this coming up? I mean,
I think I'd have conflict with planning board, but since Paul does planning board, I can still be here.
this might be the only item on that agenda. Well, I don't know. You tell us. Is there another 7 applications waiting?
You never know,
Yeah.
but at this time, only that application.
Okay. Why don't we say June 10, Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
June 10. And,
And everyone else should push it into a July date. We can figure out a July date
yeah,
after.
agreed. So, Mr. Lonzo, we're gonna meet on June 10. We're gonna continue this matter to June 10, and I'll try to be in touch with town council before then. I mean, I will be in touch with town council before then. We'll try to clear up that matter as a legal matter. I'm just not familiar with what you're saying. All right? Is there a motion to continue this till June 10 at, say, 7 o'clock?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
No further discussion. Mr. Tenori?
Yes.
Mr. Wozniak?
Yes.
Mr. Noel votes yes as well. So the hearing on 34 Woodland Road application will be June 10th at 7 o'clock, to be followed by 1 or 7 more applications. Thank you, Mr. Alonso.
Thank you for accommodating.
Okay, thank you.
We completely understand.
Yep, we'll clear it up. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, next item on the agenda, 20 Middlesex Ave. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
guys. Thank you.
For your understanding.
night.
We'll
Yep.
try to see if we can come together on it, but if not,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Understood, thank you very much.
All right, good
Have a
luck.
good night.
You too.
20 Middlesex Ave, Norton. This is an R80 zone with a proposed addition, non-conforming to the lot size and front setback and one of the side setbacks. This would further encroach the other side setback. And I have a question off the top. To the left, which I think is the west on the plan, is that Route 495?
Yes,
And it's vacant between you?
That is correct.
yes. As a matter of fact, I handed out, if you look at the little plan, by the way.
That's what
for the
I
record,
heard.
Jack Jacoby, 144 Bank Street, Attleboro, representing the applicant.
And is this the app?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Carol Joy.
You're Miss Joy. Okay, thank you.
Carol Joy.
Yeah, I looked at Google Maps and I said, so
That's what I
that,
printed.
that's what's on the other side. It's
So
a
I
wooded
circled,
section.
I circled where the house is. The house is at the end of the street.
Yeah,
And the Norton Housing Authority is the owner of the abutting land.
I saw that.
But my understanding is that because of environmental issues, they can't get farther back than this circle that they already have.
What circle are you pointing to?
Right
Sorry.
here.
The cul-de-sac at the back, at the end of the road.
The Jacobs Way.
Oh, the cul-de-sac, I see.
So this is the housing authority. This is
Oh,
my
that's the
client's-
housing authority?
I know
Yeah,
where it
this is
is.
my client's house that I circled, and here's 495.
Yeah.
So the budding land, in my opinion, could never be built on.
Yeah,
And,
that's what I was getting to, but thank you for,
yeah, and so
Filling that in.
my client had her architect, and I
Yeah.
handed you out the copies of these, but we did the elevations of the proposed addition.
yeah,
And so what I would suggest is, as you said, is that this is an R80 zoning district, and it's an 18,000 square foot lot, which was lawful in 1973, and is obviously undersized now. In addition to that, as you could see from the site plan that our engineer prepared, the property is non-conforming in the sense that we only have, I believe, 25 feet here on this side.
yeah, it's not marked on the plan, but I see.
And the front is deficient as well, and the lot size is deficient. So there are 3 non-conformities to this lot.
Yeah,
And what we're proposing to do is to put the 2-car garage with a little office space behind it. And so what we did was we stepped it back and set back the addition so it is the proper distance from the street. And we looked at whether we could
50,
put it somewhere else on the
50.5.
lot.
Yeah.
But because of the septic system, we can't build over it. So therefore.
What do you want to do then?
Our request, and I think this is under B2, is to, let me just pull my notes here, B3, excuse me, where it says that you can alter a single-family house if the work does not further encroach on the non-conforming front, side, or rear yards, but complies with current dimensional requirements for building coverage and building height. We do meet both of those, but I believe that we need the variance in order to be only 22.5 feet from the side yard. But I submit to you that this land could never be built on. It's wooded.
On that side of the
on that
structure.
side of the house. So I think this is a case where the non-conformity doesn't really cause a problem for anyone else. And
Mr. Carmichael, did you have something to add?
I was going to say that this is also a finding based on.
Yes.
That, which.
yes, so this is the night for those findings under 1.6.
Well, we get a lot of them.
Yes.
We have a lot of them undersized lots.
Yeah.
So pre-existing, of course.
We would submit to you that the plans the architect has drawn show a very nice addition to the neighborhood and a nice addition to the house. Allows my client to have a two-car garage.
That's my question for the record. That's going to be a two-car garage that's planned?
And at the front and then the back is an office space for her.
So no bedrooms, no bathrooms, no kitchen?
Correct.
There will be a bathroom, yes.
Okay,
Yes, there would.
but no kitchen, no bedroom?
No kitchen, no bedroom.
It's
No.
not a residence.
No, it's just for my
That's what
office, that's it.
So you should write that as a.
Yeah, so habitable floor area, right.
And I
that's-
did have the septic system redone in 2014 with the hopes of building this addition. And,
We only question accessory apartments.
Okay, yeah, no
With additions
ADU.
of this size, so.
No.
And a habitable floor area, I don't know that is a garage habitable floor area?
No,
I don't think we've considered
we've
it
had
that.
that, like, we don't count that.
So the office and bathroom, I mean, this is a pretty standard size garage anyway, isn't it?
Yes, I would submit that it is.
It's gonna be a
Don't-
strip out in the back of the garage in the office, and
That is correct.
That's correct.
that's not gonna
Yeah, I'll
implicate.
just write in the decision for the building inspector to say that there will be no, bedroom or kitchen.
Yeah,
Which is perfectly acceptable because that's our intention.
yeah. got it.
So,
The
So I
plan-
don't want to oversell this, but I do want to answer all your questions. But as I said, Doug Andino has drawn a very nice addition, which I think would be a credit to the neighborhood rather than a detriment, as you can see.
The house is, did you say that's 25 feet off the right hand? What is that, the east?
Yes, the right hand
North.
is, dimension is 25 feet, and the front is 42.1, but as I said, we stepped the addition back
To
so that
50.
we meet the...
50.5
Yeah.
to meet the
50, yeah.
requirement.
Right. Okay, noted. Questions? Go ahead, Lucas.
If I can just make that a requirement on every application going forward.
Right?
A table.
The table is very well done on
I
this.
know, I
We never
agree.
get this, so.
It's awesome.
We know RIM, I just wanna make sure.
I actually did a lot of this work in this town, other towns around Attleboro, North Attleboro, Plainville, Seekonk, and I know how I appreciate it, because it makes it easy for me to
Well
figure out
done,
what's
it's
going
clear.
on.
It's a summary of what's the numbers and lines on the plan, which, yeah, absolutely, good.
And it's my dream.
Well, the box is our dream.
I didn't really know where to go with that. I was gonna say the same thing, but I was.
I'm not trying to be wise guy, I'm just, got it. So are there any other questions of the board?
I don't have any.
Okay, is there anybody else here to speak in favor of or in opposition to the application? For the record, none? Motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
second.
Mr. Tenori?
Yes.
Mr. Wozniak?
Yes.
Mr. Noel votes yes to close the public hearing. Again, this is in line for a finding under 1.6, but also, I think we should do a variance as well. It sounds like we need a variance for the side yard, 22.6, reduction from
The left side.
35.
22.5.
22.6.
No, the front, the back, and but the,
Oh, the side doesn't?
The side is,
they're adding to the left.
I gotcha.
yeah, see, it is a further encroachment there, so I think it would be in line for a consideration for a finding and a variance on that. And for the variance, the hardship being that they can't go behind because of the septic, which was redone rather recently. And there's really no other place to put this. Don't want to put it in front of the house, that would encroach further. And there's no room in the back of the house for this development or anything approaching the size. Is there a motion under 1.6 that the alteration of the current non-conforming existing use, pre-existing use will not render this substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood?
I'll make that motion.
Any further discussion?
Nope.
Mr. Tenori, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Wozniak?
Yes.
Mr. Noel votes yes as well. Is there a motion for variance relief that the side yard setback, I'm looking for the direction here, I think that, I'll say, I think it's the south. I don't see an arrow.
I don't see an arrow either.
That's right. On the left of the plan, as viewing the plan.
The side of 495.
Thank you. Yeah, the side of 495. That the side yard requirement of 35 feet be reduced to no less than 22.6 feet as shown on the plan of record. The hardship being the placement of the intended structure given the septic and the rest of the property.
I'll make that motion.
That variance relief is appropriate,
variance relief.
down to 22.6 feet.
Second.
Okay.
Yes.
Discussion on that aspect?
Nope.
I don't think there's a question there as well. Mr. Tenori, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Wozniak?
Yes.
Mr. Noel votes yes as well.
Thank you.
We will write it up.
Have
Yes.
Thank you.
You don't have to move the septic system again. So, or redo it again. I know what that's like. I've done it myself.
Yeah, and I did it really large for, the chance of building an office and a bathroom if I needed to.
Yeah, well, that's up
I
to
appreciate your time. Thank you so
building
very much.
inspector, of course, in the health department, but
Yeah,
we'll write it up, and then there's an appeal period, but good luck to you.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the presentation, being so clear. We took both.
Yeah, we
votes
did,
on
we
that.
did both votes.
Okay.
We did them separately, not just one.
Yep.
Tell my time that work.
260 South Washington Street. This is in an industrial zone. The occupancy is, use is commercial in an industrial zone. It is a large building on a large parcel that is now vacant land. The plan is to construct a 52,820 square foot building to be used for cold storage. It says 7 units, but I think I counted 8. Variance for west side yard setback required is 30 feet, provided 17.2. Was a new plan submitted just today?
For the presentation, there was, it's more, it does have more detail, but I'm sure the applicant can speak more. on
Yeah,
that.
okay, well,
It doesn't affect the variance.
the date is May 1, 2025. It's called Unit Cold Storage LLC by Kelly Engineering Group. It is stamped. Another property near Route 495.
It's right,
I have a,
it goes it's right before the hotel, correct?
right now,
On the left-hand side, you're going towards the Holiday Inn.
as you're going toward,
Goes
yes.
to your brick place and then the,
And here I did a Google map here as well. So it'd go in this slot of land, which this looks deceptively small. But I have a question about the plan. There's a blow-up called a viewport, showing, I think, the setback that's impacted. It shows to the corner of 17.2 feet, but what is the structure? It looks like there are staircases
In the back.
and doors that come to 11 feet.
Yeah, I can address all of that, Mr. Chairman.
And who is it that's presenting the application?
My name is Ed Valenzola, I'm an attorney from Mansfield. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, good
Thank
evening.
you. Go right ahead.
And with me is Garrett Horsfall from Kelly Engineering Group. He's going to make a presentation on some of the details of the plan. We've been working on this for a number of months now. I've already been to Conservation, I've met with Paul Giuseppe
Yeah.
and your predecessor, the building inspector before, and, you know, got a lot of good feedback. So we're here tonight on a variance for the west side yard setback, and that's it. So the applicant here is Unit Cold Storage LLC. The owner, and we filed it with you, has authorized me to make the presentation on behalf of the applicant. They plan on, now you said around 54,000. It actually now with the mezzanine, we think the building's gonna be closer to 59,000 square feet. It's used for cold storage containing, you're correct, 8 units, approximately 6,600 square feet per unit with parking and loading areas. So businesses, restaurant groups, small distributors would use this to store their cold goods, and they might make a couple trips in and out each day with small box type trucks.
Interesting. And there's demand for cold storage?
Enormous demand. This is one of their smaller buildings that they're working on now, but there's a great demand for this, where people, you know, whether it's restaurants or stores, are able to use these facilities to keep their cold product.
So a group of stores or one store might lease out space, 1 unit or 2 units?
Right, exactly.
And then have that as a large freezer space?
Exactly. Rather than taking up retail space or restaurant space, kitchen space, seating.
Hadn't thought of this one for line of business, but it's interesting.
Well, I've been doing this for 40-plus years, and I've done the typical, you know, storage units where people want to put their, you know, stuff from their house that they don't want to keep in the basement any longer, but this is the first cold storage I've done.
We're going to be known as cold storage capital of Massachusetts. We've got the ice cream facility.
There you go, right.
I was hoping you'd be storing ice cream there, and they're...
No, we already got one, that's...
Okay.
But this is a passive commercial use. When you look at all the list of commercial uses, this is a fairly passive one, in that there's a couple trips in and out for perhaps for each unit per day, and there's really no activity going on there. And let me talk to you about why we need the variance and the challenges this lot has. So the lot size is 326,000 square feet. You only need 45,000 square feet. So the lot size is more than ample. The frontage we have is 355 feet. You only need 150 feet. We comply in all respects with setbacks, area requirements. The only variance we need is that west side yard setback. 30 feet is required. We propose 17.2 feet. And as you can see from the plan, that building is pushed right over up toward the west property line. Those little jut outs along the building are only steps from the emergency exit. So you don't measure from the steps, you measure from the building, because those steps are not used as ingress and egress for the building. They're only there because we had to have a second way of exit for emergencies, and that's the only reason those are shown.
Are those flat with the, level with the ground?
Well, no, they come down, there's a couple steps.
They are steps down, okay.
Yeah, due to,
So they are fixed there.
It's a fixed stair that's there, and again, it's not used for ingress, it's an emergency exit. And you really can't go any place, as you can see from the plan, there's nothing behind that, no place to go behind that building if you were to come out. The loading docks, the access, where the trucks back in, the parking areas are all in the front of the building.
Let me just ask, look, I'm sorry for interrupting. With this size lot and this size building, it can't be moved just 10 feet?
I'm gonna have Gary, no, this
East?
is what we're, the challenge, because there's, so let me talk to the hardship.
Yeah,
And I
thank
think
you.
that'll answer your question.
Is it the turning, the trucks turning in and?
Well.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so you have in your application, and as you know, under chapter 48, this, we have to satisfy several criteria. The first being circumstances relating to soil conditions, shape, and topography. So as you can see, we have an odd-shaped lot. Right, it's not rectangular, the frontage is a little odd shape, it goes up and then it turns. Then circumstances especially affecting the parcel, but not the zoning district in general, where the land is located. Those circumstances are bordering vegetated wetlands on the parcel with applicable no disturb buffer restrictions. So we've been in front of conservation, Garrett will speak to that a little bit more. So we're really limited on where we can put that building in the driveways. The next point, number 3, literal enforcement of the bylaw would involve a hardship, financial or otherwise, to the applicant. The hardship, this is a 326,000 square foot lot, which could fit a much larger building on it if we didn't have the challenges with the wetland and the odd shape. So we easily exceed the 45,000 that's required, and again, we've got a hardship, 2 hardships, with both the shape and the wetlands. And the last one, desired relief can be granted without substantial detriment to the public good and without nullifying or substantially derogating from the intent of the bylaw. So, as I said earlier, all dimensional zoning requirements are to be satisfied, all areas requirements are satisfied, and the size of the lot makes the relief we're seeking, with all due respect, de minimis. It's minor relief, and this is the only way we can get a building in, and this is probably why this land's been vacant for so long. There are challenges there for parking. If someone would come in with a different type of commercial use, a use that might require more parking area and more green space, you can't do it. So this is a perfect use for a spot that's been vacant for forever. And it's, as I said earlier, it's a somewhat passive commercial type use compared to most, so.
Is there a way, and I'm sure you've looked at it, to shorten the building to comply? Is there?
Yeah, if I may, can I turn it over to
Sure.
Garrett?
Yeah, I can, so Garrett Horsfall, Kelly Engineering Group. So the way the refrigeration components work, you have to have 2 at a time. So the only options here are pods work in tandem. So we can't have 10, and anything under than 8, it just doesn't work for the applicant, numbers-wise.
Sorry, say that again, you have to have them in 2s or 10?
Yeah, the way the refrigeration and the paneling systems work, and the mechanical systems, basically, they have to come in pods of 2, with the refrigerant and coolant.
Okay.
No, but I'm saying the length, like, so, where it's what, 11,
If we shorten the length of the building,
Yeah,
though, that's
shorten the
not
length of the
gonna,
building.
but that's not gonna get us away from the property line.
How about the
We
width,
can't go this way.
the length of each pod, I guess?
yeah, so each pod's what, 120 feet long?
Yes.
Right, can you make it 100 and?
No, you can't, it would get too
Whatever it
narrow.
would
As
be.
it is now, they would have preferred it be wider. Compared, their prototypical building and units would be much wider. So we've shrunk this, and Garrett can talk more to how the conservation, how those hearings have gone, but we've shrunk this as much as possible to work and pushed it way over to the corner. We can't go over here. This is wetlands.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And
I
if
do
we
like the
move-
idea it's away from the hotel too,
Yeah.
that was one of my concerns.
But
But,
could each pod be, I'm talking top to bottom, be
100
reduced in size, top to bottom?
I think it would make the project not
Not
feasible. It's just because, again, their prototypical building is built bigger than this. This is considered a small cold storage unit building. I mean, it's 8 units is not a lot for the area they're going to try to service. I mean, they'll fill this up quickly, restaurants, other businesses in the area. that wanna have something like this, they would prefer this to be double the size. So we've shrunk it as much as possible for the numbers to work, for this to be feasible, and to get away from the, you know, the buffer areas and the, and, you know, to make the parking work as well, because we have to have trucks back into these spots.
Yeah, no, I
So
get that.
I do have one correction, because we've had this issue before about stairs.
Yeah,
So in the zoning bylaw,
oh, you found it,
there's a definition of structure.
yeah.
A man-made arrangement of materials requiring a fixed location on the ground or attached to something permanently located on the ground. The use of all structures shall conform to the provisions of this bylaw, but only structures projecting above ground level other than fences, customary minor accessories such as electric and telephone poles shall be subject to the locational requirements. So you are actually looking for a variance of 11 feet,
Yeah, I
not
think,
17.
I agree.
Okay, so when I spoke with your predecessor, we talked about this, and because it's not being used, and it's
Doesn't
only
matter,
for
it's
emergency
fixed.
exit.
It's-
Well, that's, I mean, if 11
I just want to make
feet,
sure that we have that correction,
I
because we've had.
tend
this
to
before.
agree with you, and that's why I
It's
brought it up.
opinion, I would have recommended if they were going to do the variance, do it to 11 feet anyhow.
Yeah,
Right.
listen,
Then- then
you know,
it's
the
beyond
application
reproach
is with
afterwards.
an industrial park, it's industrially zoned, you know, there's not, you know, we've had the cold storage facility that we talked about, we had.
Ice cream.
The ice cream place, we had a lot of other issues, because, you know, we had residences directly
With
behind them.
noise and
The
all.
only question that I have is that hotel, and what I don't want to have happen down the line is the issue we have with the ice cream spot.
Well, the hotel's on the other side of the variance.
Yeah, but the
So-
reefer trucks are gonna be right here.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean?
But it's
They're gonna be on that
industrially
side.
zoned,
I agree.
So, question I had, what is
I guess that's
immediately
not
in
our purview either, so I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hotel, I mean, they may be here, they could be here to speak up if they were concerned, and they're, I don't think they're here. What is immediately, that's a narrow slot, 11 feet. I'm thinking of access to emergency vehicle, a fire truck or something, can't get a fire truck in 11 feet. So
No.
what's on the border there? What's actually on the border? It looks like there's a road on the other property.
It accesses the abutting industrial property to the west, their main driveway there, and just between the building and that property line would just be grass, lawn and seed. Per request of the water department, there will be a loop around the building, so the water line will be going through there as well.
Oh.
We have had discussions, you know, with water, sewer, et cetera.
But is there a fence or a barrier on the border? Yeah, I see the picture and I have that picture.
It's just a tree line.
It's a tree line.
Yeah, it's just a tree line or a shrub line or.
There's no,
Are there gonna be any trees or any tree line between you and the other driveway, once this project is completed?
Yeah, the buffer will still, the tree line along the lot line will still be there.
Okay.
I'm wondering about emergency vehicles again, but I guess it's open on the other lot, I mean, the fire.
That was a question that the fire department had. It hadn't been answered on the portal, but Deputy Chief Robbins did ask,
Oh,
will there be a?
I didn't see that. What is the question?
Let me pull it up here so I don't misspeak.
Yeah. I don't think that was in our packet.
I don't see a hydrant location on the plan. Are you planning an emergency access roadway around the building? And then some talk about Norton Swift analysis for parking lot. There was no response.
Okay. I'm just asking the question, voicing a concern, if there's a need to get a fire truck there, you can't do it on the property.
That happened at 195 Mansfield Ave, just right next, on the other side of TPC's entrance, that building that went up across from
Yeah.
Norton Links.
Mhm.
They put a road in behind them. You can drive around that whole building.
Oh.
And I think there was a similar concern.
That was a concern, that's right.
That came from fire, that they wanted to be able to drive around the whole building.
We didn't have that project.
No, but
You saw it on
I saw
planning
it.
board, yeah. So I'm just bringing that up, is that a concern? I mean, it's a concern, is that something that would prevent us from granting that in these dimensions?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I mean, I think in all being prudent, we should at least, I know they haven't responded. Do they have a certain amount of time to respond? Fire
No,
department?
that wasn't the fire department, that was, the fire department posted the question I just read to you.
Oh.
It has not been responded by any applicant.
Because we've only enforced that under special permit.
Right.
Things like that.
Right.
This isn't special permit. If it was special permit, then we have our checklist.
So we will be going, obviously, to the planning board for site plan, special permit, and obviously, we'll be reviewing with all these departments again.
Yeah.
So this is sort of our first, formal stop. We did go to conservation a few months ago for an ORAD to confirm all the wetlands on site, and, those filings were forthcoming.
We have done it
Well, but
before.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It's
they're gonna-
subject to them anyway. They
Anyways,
can't do
it's
the
automatic.
project.
If you grant the variance, then the planning board is gonna scrub this, right, as far as parking and
Yeah.
ingress, egress, lighting,
Right.
and including the fire
Mm-hmm.
trucks and.
And it's a roadway in back of the boundary anyway. That's not to say somebody can't put up a wall there or a
Yeah, you
fence.
put up a fence there.
But it strikes me that fire departments, I mean,
We
there's
can write the decision
there's
to
a
make
tree
a note
line.
that we have a concern, but it's not.
There's a tree line as well. I mean, there could be trees there as well. So we can't dictate, clear space of 30 feet for a fire engine. It's not a residential development.
Right.
There are gonna be fire suppression measures that the planning board is going to, and the fire department is gonna be part of anyway, I assume, in an industrial building. So
You
I'm
write
not
the
trying to, I
decision
don't wanna
to
get
say
out ahead of
No
ourselves.
closer than 11 feet, and then
Right.
we can make a note in the file that says we have concerns, but it's not our purview, so it doesn't matter.
I tend to agree.
Yeah.
I'm just asking the question out loud.
That would be my suggestion, is how it's written, because if you say exactly 11 feet and they end up having to move it 2 feet out, would they then need to come back?
Yeah, no
they would.
closer.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah, no
wrote it as
closer
no
than.
closer than.
No closer than.
We've done that in the past, so.
11
that's the
feet
right
to
way.
the, we could even say to the, egress.
It's the west side.
Egress on the west side, right.
You mentioned the west side.
So I'm not saying I have a problem with it, I'm just bringing it up. Are there other questions from the board? I mean, it's a good project, it's revenue for the town, obviously.
It's in the right area.
It's in the right area, right, exactly. I don't suggest that we should do anything but approve it with,
Do you want to do the public?
yeah, yep, certainly. Could I ask if there's anybody else to speak in favor of or in opposition to the application?
I got a question.
Yes,
I don't know if this pertains to that, but like, when you come out of Commerce Way, it says trucks go right. Are the trucks gonna enter through the industrial park, or are they gonna come through North Washington? off
Yeah.
123?
Through the chair, if I may, so, we have a traffic study ready to be filed with the planning board. There's an increase of about 10 trips, at the peak hour, from this site, very minimal traffic generation, and there will be signage posted similarly, to Commerce Way, as you noted, that everybody's routed back to Miles Standish through Taunton.
I'm not familiar with those signs, but does that answer your question?
That's police enforcement.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
The signs help.
I live on Crane,
I
they
know.
do help, but they don't
Right.
prevent.
Right.
I get
It's a
18 wheels
suggestion.
coming down my road,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
not to say, yeah,
I mean, they have other things that they have to do.
they're gonna
other
wanna
boards,
get right out of there and
so-
get to the highway.
And even
Yeah.
coming in off of 123, trying to take a left on
Yeah.
Washington,
Mhm.
Oh,
that's a
terrible,
tight corner.
but yeah.
But, as if there's a sign,
Okay, any other questions or comments from anybody in attendance? For the record, no? Board? No?
No.
Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Mr. Tenori?
Yes.
Mr. Wozniak?
Yes.
Mr. Noel votes yes to close the public hearing as well. This is for variance relief for the side yard setback to be no closer than 11 feet, excuse me, on the west side as shown on the plan of record, dated May 1, 2025. The hardship being the location of substantial wetlands and the odd shape of the lot. It is in the industrial zone. and it borders Route 495. So there's little chance of problems in that direction. Is there a motion to approve variance relief such that the side yard setback on the west side shall be no closer than 11 feet to the emergency egress structures as shown on the plan of record?
And note that we have some concern, although it's not in our purview, that there
Sure.
isn't.
Access for fire vehicles.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Mr. Tenori, how do you vote?
Yes.
To grant the variance?
Yep.
Mr. Wozniak and Mr. Noel votes yes as well. Okay, we'll draft it up as best we can. Good luck to you in your next departments.
It's an exciting project, and thank you for your
Yeah,
time.
yep.
Brian, thank you for all your help.
You're welcome.
And assistance, appreciate it.
Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
I had a question for you guys. What was the guy that was, he wanted to level the house and have that, what was he trying to do?
Here, tonight,
Yeah.
the one,
He had the 5 feet off the road.
oh yeah, he was proposing a new house, just.
Yeah, he was gonna demolish one house, move it back.
All right, and then the next one was another one. That he had the extra lot, he had the garage, the house,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the middle lot.
Yeah.
What was he
That.
trying to do with that?
He wants to build another house, but
Take the one down and make one?
No, he was wanting to keep the one that was there, he wanted to make it, what seemingly we say is one lot, he wanted to make it two.
Gotcha. Same thing, guy in Hill Street.
exactly.
Thanks for your help.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay, Brian had to go retrieve something upstairs. He's gonna be back in a moment.
I'm Lucas, by the way.
Ed,
Yeah, we have.
I gotta tell you, during this whole meeting, I realized that
He's
you were
like,
the
who's
building
that
inspector. I'm like, is that the building inspector?
What is your
I'm like,
name?
I'm just,
Ed Bailey.
Ed Bailey, Tom Noel, nice to meet you.
guys.
Jim. And Lucas.
Where'd you come from?
Town of Halifax.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, welcome and thanks for helping out tonight.
Yes, no problem.
When'd you join? When'd you join us?
Let's see, about a week and a half ago.
Wow,
Nice. Okay.
I had not heard.
neither did I literally, as they're like, through the whole thing, I'm like, wait a minute, I think that's our building inspector.
Me and Nick essentially swapped spaces.
I thought he went to Bridgewater.
He went to West Bridgewater, so that's next town over.
Oh, okay.
And then I came here, we both got closer to home and
Good.
Where do you
Did you
live?
live?
Attleboro.
Oh, okay.
Okay, very good.
Perfect.
Yep,
Welcome to the chaos.
welcome,
Yes.
welcome to our nightmare.
Is that still recording?
It is.
Yes, it is.
I'll hold my
Let's
comments
close
till
the
later.
meeting.
No, we gotta do those, did you read,
The what?
did you read the,
Minutes?
minutes?
I'm not doing 6 minutes, sorry.
June
No, can we
10th,
take them
June
all
10th,
as
we have
one?
one situation.
Why don't we take them all as one?
No, not tonight.
I did them all. They're good.
You're
did
proud
them?
of yourself, not tonight.
They're good?
They're good.
So you
They're-
ready?
They're small.
Listen, everything's recorded at this point anyways.
I know.
I'm just like, great,
Okay.
good job.
Yeah, they're recorded.
Maybe that's what Lucas went upstairs to get.
Probably.
I didn't print
Take
them
them
out.
all as one.
I didn't print them out.
I'm fine. It's all recorded.
Are the minutes listed out here?
Yeah, hold on,
Yes,
I'll tell you right now.
they are. They're here on the agenda, I think.
Just so we can get them off our plate, because if we don't,
Yep.
we asked them to email them to us, and I feel bad.
I know.
The next thing that'll be coming is the AG for it, so.
Yeah, you're not gonna get your Christmas bonus if you don't do them.
Christmas bonus, yeah. That'd be good. So June,
I actually read them all, believe it or not.
Oh, we should actually,
Yeah, we
July and
schedule,
August
yeah.
and September, because
Yeah.
I'm really not around.
So it's,
June 10,
June 10th is good, that's a Tuesday,
wait, no, yeah, June 10th.
yep,
which hopefully is just, it should be just that one matter.
probably.
I'd be surprised if they extended from that.
What's
point.
July look like?
I'm driving to Colorado for 2.5 weeks.
Oh, yeah, good.
Never been there, so.
That's nice.
Is it gonna be weird when I'm in your pool and you're not there?
Oh, please.
Is that gonna be weird?
Please use it.
Why is Jim in my pool?
Go for it.
So I would say,
I am back the 16th.
I could do the 16th,
Yeah,
so it'd be 7/16.
we can do 7/16. Yes,
Um,
Brian, 7/16, July 16.
yeah, I can, yeah, I can do that. 16th or 24th, I mean 23rd, it's up to you guys. Either one I can.
Rather do 16.
Yeah.
Space it out.
Alright.
And August is where it's gonna get tough.
August is a problem on the 13th for me. I could do the night before, or I could do the 20th.
It'd have to be the 20th, I'm away that week.
Oh,
Yeah, the
okay.
6th, so it'd have to be the 20th.
Can we do August 20? Okay,
I'm in New Hampshire. Yes, I can do the 20th. Yep.
okay. September 17?
Oh yeah, September I'm wide open. Kids are back to school.
17 is good for me.
That's my daughter's birthday.
No, no, let's not do the
She'll
17th.
kill me.
Bring her.
Yeah.
Right, she already has me picking up food. I
Okay.
can do either or.
10?
Yeah, I can do the 10th.
Sure. Okay, good.
Brian, you get all those dates?
I go.
Okay. Now, while you were away, we conspired to approve the minutes.
As written.
Yeah, we're gonna take one vote, all of them.
Okay.
Doing them all.
Just throw all the dates out there.
What-
January 17th, 2024.
Go ahead.
Jesus.
January 25th. February 13th. February 21st. March 11th. April 11th. May 16th. And June 20th. All of 2024.
Those minutes have been reviewed and are acceptable to the board.
Yeah.
Make a motion?
I make a motion to approve said minutes.
Second.
All those in favor? I can't do that.
Yeah,
Mr.
you can.
Tenori, how do you?
Yes.
Mr. Wozniak?
Yes.
And Mr. Noel votes yes as well, even though we're not on Zoom.
Nope.
But, okay, so those meeting minutes are fine. Thank you.
Welcome.
I'm proud to say that we got through this.
I'm actually surprised.
Yeah.
I saw the agenda tonight, I was like, oh.
Well, me too, but, well, we did what we needed to do. And we were fairly organized and prepared, so good.
Island
Good
Brook's
job.
out of our life.
Good job.
That's a win.
Which one?
Island Brook.
Until they're back.
Yeah.
Well, we have a modification. Thanks. Is there anything else?
So, I'm not sure, so when,
Spin up.
Just come on.
Let's do it.
How much money do you need?
How much do it?
200,
Ah,
so.
perfect.
Approved.
So an applicant.
It's for you. Wait, that's Mr.
So
Gift
an
card.
applicant-
Lanza, we just had him,
Right, so when he applied for it twice, so
applied what? Oh,
the application. So because of our system, if you click on both the variance and a finding, it charges you both for 200. So I'm returning 200 because it's 200 for the application, not for each individual.
has this been approved? I mean, this is okay? This isn't gonna get us fired?
I checked with
Please do.
Mary Ann and I explained it.
Okay.
But
It's
the
my
process was-
application, yeah.
I believe Brian.
I believe
I
that.
don't even need
I
to.
mean, you guys can
I'm good.
check if you want.
No,
No,
I don't
absolutely not.
find any need to. I don't wanna get you in trouble.
Right, and I'll just,
No, it's fine. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there a motion to approve the return of $200 to Mr. Lanza, who we just heard from?
Yes,
Yeah.
approve. Yes.
Second motion,
We all
yes.
motion.
Do we
Second.
all sign this, or just me?
Just you.
Oh, great.
Yeah, wait, you go
I'll
down.
get fired.
You go down.
Yeah,
Thank God.
Put my
okay,
name on it, I'm the new guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can't find
and
me.
welcome to our new building inspector. Good to meet you, and thanks for
Yeah, thank you. Nice
Thanks
to
for
meet you.
taking part. We're an okay group of guys, so.
So far, so good, yeah.
Thanks very much, and I'm gonna call the meeting adjourned at 8:50.